What the fuck, Astro?
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So we're just gonna hop right into this tutorial and get started. So to prep my skin, I'm using my I Heart Revolution Banana Split Foundation Primer. This is my go-to primer when I'm wanting like that more underneath the skin glow, kind of like a nice natural radiance and sheerness to the skin. So I just put this all over my face with the foundation brush. I don't know why. You can typically just use your finger, it doesn't really matter. I just had a lot, so I think that's why I used a brush. Next, I'm moving on to my brows. I'm using my Benefit Precisely brow pencil to give me a very nice natural filled in brow. So I always start by grooming my brows upward and in the direction they grow first, and then I go in with the other side and I just trace out my bottom shape of my brow first and just carve that out, and then I'll go in and I'll draw little hair-like strokes and blend them out. Alright, so now that I've filled in my brows, I'm taking my Makeup Revolution concealer and I'm carving out my brows just very slightly. The shade is a little bit lighter than my skin, so it's not too dark. I want it to be a little bit brighter. And as you can tell, my girlfriend decided to video bomb this video, so I have her little rein, and then I'm continuing with carving out my brows. Alright, so as you can tell, I just did the same thing to my other eyebrow, making sure I'm giving myself a really nice, smooth conceal around my brow, because I hate it when it's like super harsh around the brows. It's not cute. Okay, so next I am priming my lids. I'm using the infamous P. Louise eyeshadow primer. This shit is what it is. Like, you hear the hype, it is the hype. Like, I will pick this primer up over anything, over any concealer, any other primer, or anything, because it just goes on so smooth and it makes your shadow go on so pigmented. So I'm just putting that all over my lid and patting that out. Alright, so for the shadow today, I'm using the new Patricia Bright palette from Makeup Revolution. This palette, I was like instantly, I fell in love because the colors in it, like, it is just absolutely stunning. Alright, so to start the shadow off, I'm using this really pretty brick red shade. And I'm just taking a crease bullet brush and I'm packing this color directly into my crease. And you can tell in my face, like, do y'all see this pigment? Like, I was beyond shocked by just putting this one color on, so it blew me away. Alright, so now I'm taking a little bit of a lighter red, still in the same color family, and I'm going to take this and put it right on top, but a little bit above this shadow, because I want it to make sure it looks all blended and seamless together. And then for my last shade, I'm using this really pretty true red color, and I am gonna blend this all over the shadow just to kind of give it a nice soft blurred effect with an angled blending brush. It doesn't have to be angled, you can use really whatever blending brush you choose, but just to diffuse it and make sure everything is all blended together. So later on I did decide to blow out my shadow because what's a glam look without blown out eyeshadow, right? Okay, so next I'm using this black shadow in my Ultimate Artist palette from Revolution, and I'm just packing this directly into my crease to give me more definition and dimension in my shadow. Now I'm taking that same P. Louise primer with a flat, very small detailed, I want to say this is like a smudger brush, and I just use it to carve my crease out, but it gets the job done so quick and so easy. Like, y'all saw how quick I just carved my crease out. The smaller the brush, I feel like the better you have a crisper crease blend, because it takes no time to just draw the line out versus using a bigger brush, and you have to be mindful of how much space you have and how big you want to do it and everything like that. Alright, so for my lid shades, I'm using those two corner green colors. The corner green is just a pretty like dull, kind of has like a little bit of emerald to it, and then the other green is like a very pretty like foily glittery green. So I'm just taking those, and I take the darker first, and I just pack that all over the outer corner of my crease, well, not my crease, my lid color. So that's going on the outer portion, and then on the other side I'm going to take the lighter green and put that on top of it. And here I'm just actually going in and blending my outer lid shade with my crease color just so it looks seamless. Alright, so I have went ahead and done my other eye off camera, and the verdict for this shadow is I love this palette because it's pigmented and all of the shadows blend together. It's absolutely amazing and it's stunning. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to my face now. For foundation, I'm using the Beauty Bakery Insta Bake Aqua Glass foundation. Y'all, I have been using this foundation for the past week and a half now, and I am obsessed because it gives me a very pretty nice natural finish. It doesn't separate in my smile lines like most foundation does, and I want to say it's kudos to the setting powder as well, which I'll talk about later. But this foundation, it's so smooth on my skin, and my skin just kind of looks like, it just looks like skin when I have this foundation on, and I absolutely love it. Alright, now I'm about to go in and highlight and contour my skin using my Makeup Revolution Hydrate and Conceal concealers. To highlight, I'm using shade 11.2, and then to contour, it's like 15 and 13 together combined. But yeah, I'm just putting this highlighter all over my highlighting points of my face, and then I'm going to go in and of course put the contour in the same place. I don't do a liquid contour for my nose with these because sometimes they can come out too harsh, so I prefer to just wait and do that later. Now to blend my contour, I use a flat brush. I don't know where I got this idea in my head from, but for some reason I just feel like this flat brush is buffing this concealer so pretty and just so smooth and blended. I don't know what it is, but it's just the brush that I prefer to use to blend out my contour when I do a cream contour. It just looks so pretty. I don't know what's going on. It's just, look at it. Now for my other new holy grail, it's the Beauty Bakery Flower Setting Powder. This stuff right here is so silky and so soft, and it literally goes right into my skin as if I didn't even put anything on. I have the shade Cassava, so it's like a very pale yellowy color. This stuff, I don't have any setting powder that's as silky as this one. I love my Laura Mercier. I will never give up on my Laura Mercier, but my Laura Mercier does not set into my skin like this because it just goes away. Every single line, pore, everything just disintegrates after I put this powder on. Now for my blush and bronzer and highlight, I decided to try the Patricia Bright You Are Gold face palette as well. So I start by using the bronzer first to set my contour. I didn't use too much of this because this isn't my skin tone color. It's actually a little bit warmer and darker for my bronze slash contour, so I just slightly used a little bit, and then I took the blush and popped it right on top of the bronzer as well. So I decided I was gonna pop a little blush on top of my bronzer, and as you can see, it's real pigmented. So I had to go in and soften this up because Patricia, you knew what you was doing for your darker skin tone girls. Like, I can't use this on a regular. So I just decided to go in and blend this mess out because it's not really a mess. It's just I didn't know what I was getting myself into when it came to that blush. Alright, so now I am going in and I am carving out my nose contour. Still with that same bronzer that I use from the Patricia Bright palette because I do prefer more chiseled nose, and I will go in and soften it up. I'm not going to leave it this harsh line. It's just I like to make it harsh and blend it out because it just diffuses it and makes it look a lot softer when you do it in an ombre gradient effect, because you can't just go in light and expect it to be a contour, but you also can't go in dark and leave it like that and expect it to be blended. So that's how I decided to do my nose contour. I'm also using a Morphe actual nose contour brush because for the longest I had no idea what brush to use for my contour, and this stuff has been amazing. Like, this brush has really helped me give myself a more contoured nose because, as y'all can see, the bridge of my nose is a lot wider and so is the bottom part of my nose, so I kind of go in and give me a more buttony look. Okay, so now I'm just going in with the Patricia Bright highlighter from the face palette, and I wasn't a huge fan of this color because it kind of looks slightly chalky. I don't know. I just prefer more of a golden highlight, so I do go in later and add my Laura Mercier on top of it just to add a little bit more of a sheer goldenness to the highlight. Alright, so going back to my eyes, I am just taking my NYX gel retractable liner and putting this underneath my eye and just smoking my shadow on top of that just to kind of give it that more dramatic under eye look. Next, I'm taking this really pretty sparkly glitter shadow in the palette, and I'm just popping that in the inner corner of my eye with a flat detailed round brush, kind of like the one that I used to carve out my crease with. Alright, so now I'm just going in and putting my lashes on. These are my lashes from my lash line in the style Bella, and I'm just going in and popping those right on. Alright, so now for my lips, I'm lining them with my MAC Cork Lip Liner. That's my holy grail, y'all already know. It's my absolute favorite lip liner. And then I take my Morphe Let's Talk or The Talk. I can't remember, but it's something Talk lipstick. And I'll probably link it down below so you guys can know exactly which one it is. And I just put that all over my lips. Alright guys, after doing my hair off camera, this is the finished look. I do hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you got a lot of information out of this very, very detailed and glam look. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!